He was capable of a verbal menace that I've seen him reduce people to mist in seconds. There was this sort of mutual kind of comprehension of what it means to hail from the dark and bloody ground, you know. And that was the term we used. We always called it the dark and bloody ground. Most people can't handle the action on whatever they choose or have to call their own turf. And the few who can usually have better sense than to push their luck any further. That was always the difference between Muhammad Ali and the rest of us. He came, he saw, and if he didn't entirely conquer, he came as close as anybody we are likely to see in the lifetime of this doomed generation. Nice piece. I remember thinking that Bill Murray was brilliant as Hunter. Way before I'd ever met Hunter, you know. I just thought Bill did a great job. He's just genius, you know.
As the 1980s staggered into the 1990s, actors as a species were increasingly drawn to Hunter S. Thompson, a true friend and the rawest of material. One of them was Johnny Depp. The two shared more than just Kentucky roots. They became partners in crime and cinema. Disappearing into Hunter on film was both an honor and a threat. Johnny rose to that challenge by taking that chance. So in 1998, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas finally made it to the big screen. It would have been easy to drown in the undertow of the wave Hunter had so famously written into life. But they tried like hell to get it right.
The first time we met, it was like the first thing we connected on. It was like, you know, a brother from the same soil. That was our initial buzz, you know.
I think he got Hunter down, pretty good. I know they were really close.
I was living in his basement, so I was his partner in crime. As his partner in crime, you became this surrogate, Dr. Gonzo. It was a magical time. I got a phone call from Bill, and I said, "What's going on? What's the matter?" And he said, "Nothing, I just wanted to talk to you, because I understand you're going to play Hunter. If you're going to play Hunter, and he seeps into your skin, you will always find yourself becoming him at one time or another for the rest of your life, probably."
Johnny Depp is able to be ironic within a role without mocking the person he's playing.
That was headquarters. They want me to...
I think what Benicio brought to the film is something that Hunter knew as Oscar Zeta Acosta, the Brown Buffalo. He spoke about him as one of the most, loving, sweet, sensitive, smart, funny, but dangerous. One of the most dangerous individuals he'd ever known. So I believe that's what Benicio brought beautifully to the role.
We had looked around for someone to play the cop.
I don't remember exactly what it was. Gary?
Oh, yes, I do now.
Terry Gilliam and I had met before Fear and Loathing. And he called me in to play a highway patrol.
Hey, good morning, how are you? All right, man.
He was driving wild, out of control, stupidly. And I got him off the road and pulled him up and stopped him. And he got out of his car, I got out of mine.
Hi, how are you?
Just what in the hell did you think you were doing? I want to know.
Walking around. What do you got in here? You got light bulbs, you got soap, you got towels? What are you, a traveling hotel? What is this?
What are you carrying 2 cases of soap for, son?
I want to stay clean.
That's the end of the scene. Terry Gilliam, who is dressed like an Arab sheik, sitting halfway down the hill because the crew couldn't sit up with us because we're on a hill, and he didn't say cut. So I simply said,
"May I have a little kiss before you go? I'm very lonely here."
Yeah, he started talking about how lonely he was out there in the desert all alone. Lonely cop, and he wanted a kiss or something, right?
Picked Johnny up and laid him on the trunk, and there went Gilliam laughing and haunting and rolling down the hill.
A good portion of these critics, you know, were freaked out by the film. You know, I mean, some people walked out feeling, you know, like high, you know, like too high.
What did you think of the movie about you?
That's funny. Johnny Depp asked me that question last night on the telephone.
I called him and I said, well, what do you know, do you hate me? And he said, oh, no, man. He said, Jesus Christ. These words just flew out of his mouth. He said, no, man, it was like an eerie trumpet call over a lost battlefield. It really was less of a job than it was a love letter, you know, or a salute. It was like, yeah, something had been somebody just removed something from your body, you know? That's what it felt like. When I got the news that Hunter had made his exit, I remember thinking almost immediately, you know, the canon. We got to do the canon. And we had spoken about it, you know, over the years, you know. It was he brought it up, you know, every now and again, you know. Oh yeah, you know, I got to have I need the canon, you know. That's how I got to go. I know somewhere in his crooked mind, I know that he knew that I was the only one, perhaps loyal enough, perhaps insane enough to attempt it.
Thank you, Hunter!
Him as a person, as a friend, as a human being changed my life in so many different levels. First as a writer, as an author, as a, you know, author to a reader, me being a huge fan of his work. That changed my life.